11 hours. 11 hours. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Seriously. Now, here's the thing, all right? I respect everybody's opinion. Everybody's welcome to write whatever the fuck they want in the comment section. But let me tell you, when the moment that Luffy, all right, had to go gear forth in that chapter, I said, Cracker, I made my evaluation. I'm a very good evaluator. I said, Cracker is probably like Dofi level plus. The amount of hate, all right, it was incredible. Like, people were coming at me for saying that like I had just insulted their mother. It's insane. And now it's pretty much confirmed. 11 hours. How long did that fight in Dressrosa last? Moral of the story is people need to chill the fuck out. All right? Because, I mean, I'm telling you, like, these discussions in terms of like the commanders' power levels and the power gaps and all, it's getting a little bit out of hand. 11 hours and Luffy and Cracker are still going at it. And not only that, let me just read. Oh man, this is golden. All right. This is what Cracker says: fight, run, eat, repeat. So Luffy is eating up these biscuits. He's retreating, and then he's coming in for a fight again. So, like, we can pretty much infer from this final panel that Luffy has had to go gear forth multiple times. All right, he's been using gear 4. It's run out. All right, he hasn't been able to break through, and then he goes away. He kind of like, he recoups, and then he comes back in. That is some crazy shit in terms of Cracker's feats. All right, not only that, you can tell from the background that Nami has been helping Luffy during the fight. I don't know what maybe as a distraction, maybe as a way of like allowing Luffy to have those 10 minutes to recoup and get the hockey back. I don't know. All I'm going to say is Urouge Matt D-Monk looking real good right about now. He's looking real good. All right. Bottom line is neither of these guys have gone all out, and you can tell from the surroundings, especially when it comes to Luffy, because Luffy, we've seen what a King Kong gun will do to the place. It'll basically like crack it in half. No pun intended. But Luffy can't go all out, because if he goes all out, by definition, he won't be able to see Sanji again, because he needs to have enough energy to try and do something against Big Mom. Cracker, yeah, he can go all out, because even if he goes out, there's still like a couple of commanders left, and there's still Big Mom, so no biggie for him. Luffy is the one that's, he's feeling the pressure right about now. Here's the thing, all right? Does Luffy eating those biscuits allow him to regain some energy and strength? Because if that's the case, that's another feat for Cracker, because it doesn't seem like Cracker has been able to do anything to get his energy back. So by definition, if Luffy has to eat these biscuits, and I'm not saying that he does, but if he's been eating these biscuits to recoup, then that's a feat for Cracker. But anyway, I can't wait to see the outcome of this fight. Honestly, I don't know how Luffy's going to be able to beat this guy and then have enough energy to go against Big Mom. I really don't, unless he has enough time to rest, or somebody with like a healing ability helps him out or something. I just don't know. That being said, Whitebeard turns out to be alive in the cover page with some goats. I like the cover page, but it just kind of fucks with me, because I'm like, wait, you're dead. This is kind of like, it's throwing me off, but I liked it. Now, the flashback, I thought it's great. Like, it's just, there's just no way to describe it. I already thought Sanji's backstory was sad enough, but after this, it's like there's a history of abuse. But the reason why I like the sadness of it all is because it explains so much about Sanji as a character. It explains his passion for cooking, as well as his behavior towards women. More specifically, the fact that he refuses to hit like any female whatsoever. And it's not only, I think it's tied to his mom, but to a certain extent, it's also tied to Reiju, because both Reiju and his mom were like the only two people in the entire kingdom that like allowed him or showed him any type of kindness as a kid. So he really took that to heart. And the fact that he walked so far and, in the rain and, just to give his mother this dish, even though it was complete crap, and she just pretended that it was delicious, that just says a lot about how far an example of kindness can go in regards to a kid. One question I do have, though, is how in the hell did somebody like Sanji's mom end up marrying Judge? Because Judge is a total douchebag. In fact, it's heavily implied that after Sanji's mom passed away, and maybe even during, like while she was sick, I don't know. Judge had a mistress. At least that's what you can infer from like one of the conversations that the servants are having. And they were saying like, oh yeah, we heard some shrieks down in the dungeon. I'm like, okay, that's just Oda trying to keep it PG-13. No, a couple of things I want to point out is that the servant that takes care of Sanji's mom is called Epony, whatever. I think that's a reference to the character of Eponine from Les Miserables, because Oda used another name from that book in the previous chapter with Cosette. So Cosette and Eponine are both like characters in Les Miserables. So the French theme continues in Sanji's story. Now, I also want to point out that we do get a panel of Ichiji, young little Ichiji, being able to defeat a grown-ass man, a soldier, all right? And I don't know if it's just one punch, but he's basically knocked him out. So, feat for Ichiji. There we go. Ichiji, I think he's a beast. I've said this before. And now, actually, I want to be honest here and say that despite the information that we got of Sanji's mother, I felt like it was a little bit incomplete. Like, I felt like we needed to learn more about, like, where she came from, like, why she was sick. It just felt like something was missing. So I kind of get the feeling that we will learn something about Sanji's mom from Sanji's own mouth in the present time, because the flashback is pretty much over in this chapter. Another thing that we get to learn is how he learned about the All Blue. And he was learning about the All Blue as he was like, cutting some potatoes or something, cooking. And it's important to remember that the All Blue, the dream of finding the All Blue, is 100% cooking related, because the importance of the All Blue is that it's a sea where it's an intersection of all the other seas, right? And the reason why that's so important for Sanji is because it provides ingredients. Fish from all of the 4 seas across the One Piece world congregate in that one spot. And so he has a different variety of ingredients in terms of fish that he can use to cook his meals. Another thing that I really liked about this chapter is in terms of world building, Oda just introduced another way of getting across the red line with the snails that belong to Germa 66. And that's one of the things that I've been thinking about, like, because Oda, like, the ports of entry, like, in and out of the red line are basically just 2. Either you use, you use Reverse Mountain to get into, like, the Grand Line, or you go through, like, the Fishman Island, right? Those are the 2 kind of, like, ports. But then I thought to myself, wait, Marijoa is on top of the red line as well. And so how do people get up there? So kind of, Oda just giving hints is like, there are other ways of like getting atop that mountain in there. So that's kind of cool. And then we also get a more like 3-dimensional view of Reiju's character, which I love, because I think it's very unfair to say, oh, like Reiju's a bad guy, Reiju's a good guy. I don't think that's the case. The best characters in any type of work are 3-dimensional. It's a mixture, because that's how humans are. We're gray. We're not black and white. So in this case, we find out that Reiju cares about Sanji, but she doesn't care enough to say, I'm going to risk my skin for you. If that makes sense. And that kind of got me thinking that maybe, because Reiju's technically like the firstborn, right? So maybe the mom told Reiju, hey, I need you to take care of your little brother as best you can. And that's what she ended up doing. And then we find out how like Sanji got into the cruise ship that eventually leads to him meeting Zeph. I thought that was cool. But before that, Judge actually catches him escaping. And he pulls a Scar. He's like, run away and never return. He even tells him, like, I should have killed you, but my humanity just wouldn't allow it. I'm like, what? And that's something we also find out, thanks to Reiju, is that, like, Ichiji, Niji, and Yonji they don't have, like, sympathy or empathy. I don't know if that's, like, something that was removed from them, or that maybe that's something that it's just not part of their genetical code. But Sanji and Reiju are different. So that was kind of when it comes to Judge, I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. Oh, no, but he does say, like, oh, and don't ever use the family name. You're not related to me. Which explains why we didn't know that Sanji's last name was Vinsmoke up until this point in the story. Judging from the fact that Reiju asks or commands to be left alone with Sanji, I'm pretty sure that she's going to be the one to patch him up for the wedding. So she's going to be the healer just like she was when they were little kids. And by the way, Reiju is pretty strong. I mean, the fact that she was able to bust those bars open, that says something. I'm pretty sure, I want to see how much she has improved, but also it's super obvious that there's going to come a point in this arc when she is going to decide whose side she really is on. The Vince Smoke side or Sanji's side. It's writing 101. That's it for me. I thought it was a great chapter. Like the video if you did. I appreciate that. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't for more One Piece reviews. Comment down below with your thoughts and theories. Thanks, guys. Bye.